heroic, okay, that the rest of the world would appreciate. Well, most of the world. There's still some people that wouldn't give a damn either way. Like what? Well, for one thing, like taking out Boko Haram. Or, for one thing, assist with the bombing and strafing of those lunatics who run around the desert killing and beheading anyone who does not believe in their distorted view of what religion is. That's what I think.
I have a feeling that a lot of people who are anti-Israel are not really anti-Israel, they're anti-Semitic. Doesn't matter what Israel does, it's Israel's or Jewish. And
they don't even know why, other than the fact that their parents and their grandparents drilled it into them when they were little kids.
Well, because like I have a friend who was Puerto Rican, and she married a Jewish guy, and the mother didn't go to the wedding. Why? The Jews killed Christ. Simple.
That's what somebody said to me when I was a kid. Believe it or not, I was about 10 years old. This girl said to me, "You killed Christ," and I said, "I didn't even know the guy."
Stan, I know you're getting up there in age, but I didn't think you were that old.
No, I'm not. It's just it's the way I only look old. Anyway, look, this past month, in 1 month, 2 comic legends left us. One by his own hand and the other by some unexplainable surgical mishap. They were without a doubt the best that we had. I'm talking about Robin Williams and Joan Rivers, of course. Joan Rivers was a trailblazer, and Robin Williams was an incredible actor, and they surely will be missed. Yeah,
I was watching some of the tributes. They're playing the old shows of Mork and Mindy. He was most of that was unscripted. And he did his own shtick. He
was that kind of a comedian. You know, he didn't go by a script.
and then as an actor, some fantastic things. As
an actor, he was a better actor than a comedian. Well, I'm not sure. He was great at both. But look, talking about suicide, Robin Williams did the unthinkable. But it should be pointed out that a number of famous people did themselves in. Okay, we have Cleopatra and Mark Antony, Ernest Hemingway, Sylvia Plath, and also Adolf Hitler and Marilyn Monroe. So he was certainly in good company.
Well, was it?
And that's a bad joke.
Yeah.
Now in China, do you know that in China, which is a big country, they have a suicide every 2 minutes? That's phenomenal. That's mind-boggling.
Well, there are 400 billion people there, or 2 billion.
400 billion? I think it's about 2 billion.
About 2-3 billion.
Yeah, give or take a half a million.
Do you realize that population has, I think, more than doubled in the last 100 years? More than doubled.
Well, wait a minute. When I was a kid, which was like a lot of years ago, the population of the planet was only 2 billion. I thought that number was enormous, and now it's 7 billion plus.
Yeah, it's more than doubled. It's
3.5 times in my lifetime.
We're not going to have enough room for people. We have the room. We don't have the resources.
We'll have neither if they keep multiplying like rabbits. Anyway, now.
Yeah, but multiplication is fun.
Well, if you could do it on a table. Now, I picked up something on LBN Alert. I get that all the time. And according to them, there are 2 women, okay, in Iowa. They're in wheelchairs because they're kind of long in years. A Vivian Boyack, who is age 91, and Alice Dubas, who is age 90. They've been together for 72 years, and they finally got married last week.
And they got divorced next week.
So my words are, see, Malcolm, it's never too late.
Well, didn't you just celebrate your anniversary?
Yeah, 58 years.
58 years.
Yeah, it's longer than some people live.
Well, you know what they say? They say that married men live longer than single men. So the line for that is...
So if I was single, I would be dead by now?
Right.
Is that it?
And if you want to live a long, boring life, you get married.
Well, I wouldn't say my life is boring. It's been interesting, I got to tell you.
So what did you do for your anniversary?
Well, we went to the Dodgers last night.
I hope
Dodger game.
I hope Marilyn likes baseball.
She's a big baseball fan, especially the Dodgers, and when they win, it's even better. They won last night 9-3. It was great. Anytime they win is great, but when they really dish out a score like 9-3, it's awesome.
Is Puig playing? Because he's not.
Oh, yeah,
he's
playing.
Much about
he's
him.
a little bit sort of like in a slump, but he's still playing. His average used to be, I think last year it was like 314 or 315 or 319, something like that. And now it's a little under 200.
Under 200 or under 300?
Excuse me, a little under 300.
I was wondering.
Excuse me. That's a whole 100 points.
I didn't read it, but I understand that he was pushed back to the 7th place in the batting order.
You know what? He's still a hell of a hitter, and you have to watch out for him.
Well,
he can whack that ball. He can, whoa.
Well, he's an exciting player. That's what I like about him, because he's unpredictable.
And also, he's not from this country.
Really? I thought he was from Cuba.
Well, that's not this country.
That's not this country?
No, not that. Where you been, Malcolm? Don't you read the newspapers?
It's only 90 miles off the coast.
Still, it's a separate country.
Oh, okay. And who's the ruler of the country?
The ruler? Your friend, Fidel.
No, Fidel retired.
Well, but he's the guy behind the scene. He still pulls strings.
I
Maybe his brother rules the country, but Fidel is still there.
I think he might be comatose.
Whatever, but he's still there. He's still a presence to be reckoned with. Oh, did you see when they had the other day I think the Korean pitcher, and they had to go out and give him some advice from the dugout? They have an interpreter. The interpreter comes out and interprets what Don Mattingly or the pitching coach says. The interpreter talks to him, and yes, no, or whatever, and then he's good to go.
Well, do you see what they do when they have a Japanese pitcher come? They come out of the dugout to talk to the Japanese pitcher? They send the sushi chef out with them.
I saw that.
That's supposed to be a joke. But I was watching are you into tennis at all?
I used to be when I was younger, but I have to tell you the last time I played tennis was when I passed my physical aptitude for the sheriff's department. I remember that distinctly because when I passed that test, it felt like every bone in my body was broken, and from then on, I never played tennis again. I just didn't have the time.
Yeah, but how old were you when you passed the test?
I was 55, just before it was 56, which was the cutoff. The cutoff point was 55. So technically I was over 55, but since I hadn't hit 56, technically I was still 55, so I just made it under the wire with the age limit.
So that was quite an accomplishment then.
Oh,
or now even.
Well, being the oldest guy to have graduated from the academy, I have to tell you, I'll sum it up for you in 2 words.
Oy vey.
Yeah, very good. That sums it up. And one thing I have to also tell you, my chiropractor bills during that time were phenomenal with all of the injuries that I had. And that was during the PT session, because the next youngest guy in my class was 30 years younger than me, and he was an ex-Marine gunnery sergeant.
Did you ever think of trying out for the American Ninja Warriors? Have you seen that TV show?
No. Maybe if I was 30 years old or even 40, but not now. Are you kidding?
We'll do it senior division.
They don't have a senior division unless you form one. Then I'll think about it.
We know enough people we could start one.
I'll think about it. Okay, listen, we have a very interesting guest on today. Paul, are we going to play some of her music before we break?
Tell who she is, and then we'll play some.
Okay, this is a lady who I have seen on TV so many times, and her name is Melba Moore, and she is just phenomenal. She will be coming on at right after our commercial break. We will have her come on at 10:24 as soon as we come back, and
hey, Paul, do you have and she has a new, I believe it's a new release.
It's a brand new release.
Brand new release?
It hasn't come out yet. It will be out around September 23rd.
So let's play a few minutes of it, as before we go into the break. You're listening to The View from Over Here. Are you set, Paul? You're listening to The View from Over Here, heard on crntalk.com And you can reach our old shows at www.viewfromoverhere.com. And we're going to play a little bit of Melba Moore as we go out. Stay tuned, and we'll be back right after the break. Take it away, Paul.
Remember when we used to know each other's names, hanging out all day long and playing silly games. Let's take it back to the good times music could bring. Let's get back to love, when we could dance and sing. We never worried about no arguing, no guns or fighting. We used to care about our children, now they're slowly dying. Let's take it back to the good times music could bring. Let's get back to love, when we could dance and sing. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world even harmony. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world even harmony. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world even harmony. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world even harmony. Let's stay together, there's so much to overcome. Music is life, music is love, music is one. Let's take it back to the good times music could bring. Let's get back to love, when we could dance and sing. We never worried about no arguing, no guns or fighting. We used to care about our children, now they're slowly dying. Let's take it back to the good times music could bring. Let's get back to love, when we could dance and sing. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world even harmony. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world even harmony. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world even harmony. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world even harmony. DJ, please turn the music up.
Someday there'll be a cure. Someday we won't lose the people we love. But when is someday? Someday is today. Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, hundreds of thousands diagnosed with blood cancer are today living a normal life. We're making cures happen. Join us. Call 888-HELP-LLS. Go to LLS.org. Help us reach today sooner.
Come to Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante in Fullerton, California for our sizzling summer savings. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's and celebrate in one of our festive banquet rooms with your group of 25 or more any day this July or August, and receive your choice of complimentary pizza, hors d'oeuvres, and champagne toast, or party an extra hour on us at your event, food and beverage not included. Call for all the details. And don't forget our daily lunch and dinners, plus our Sunday champagne brunch, just $14.95, which includes the omelet bar, pastas, chicken dishes, salads, scones, and muffins, a chocolate fondue fountain, and champagne. And Junior is waiting to make the omelet of your choice right in front of you. Angelo's and Vinci's has been voted on the Orange County Hot List, the top 5 Italian restaurants in the past 6 years. And don't forget our award-winning pizzas. It's all at Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022, 714-879-4022.
Have you ever considered adding a home security system but thought it would be too expensive? Here's the good news. There's never been a more affordable time to help protect your home, valuables, and your loved ones. You can now get a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, with the installation of a new ADT monitored system. Here's even better news. Your new system, worth $850, is free. You pay just a $99 installation charge and purchase monthly monitoring for less than $2 a day. Call Protect Your Home today at 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. Get the peace of mind that comes with owning an ADT monitored system, plus a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home. Call now, 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. 36-month monitoring contract required. General terms and conditions apply. Visit protectyourhome.com/terms. The next time you're in Southern California, to visit the Riviera Restaurant in Calabasas. Riviera, as the name implies, is the ultimate in Calabasas restaurants. There's not even a close second. And what's better suited for the Beverly Hills of the Valley than a Beverly Hills type of restaurant and watering hole without those ridiculous Beverly Hills prices? They're so good. With impeccable service, they probably don't even need this commercial. Even now, it's hard to get a good table except for off hours. But if you really want to treat yourself or your date, call 818-224-2163. That's 818-224-2163. That's the Riviera Restaurant in Calabasas, California.
We never worried about no arguing, no guns or fighting. We used to care about our children, now they're slowly dying. Let's take it back to the good times music could bring. Let's get back to love when we could dance and sing.
Take it away.
If we just dance.
You didn't give me the signal.
I give you the
Give me the signal.
I'm the producer, not
Okay,
him.
you people out
He's the
there,
engineer.
this is The View from Over Here, and we have a very special guest on for today. Her name is Melba Moore. She is one hell of a singer. Back years ago, I referred to her as the Black Barbara Streisand. And I checked with her manager, Ron, to see if it's okay to say that. And he says, "Are you kidding? Other people also called her that." Now, I have to tell you, she had to endure racial prejudice, the kind that we mostly see in old newsreels today or read about. But she made it. She made it because of her undeniable talent and determination. She is a singer, what's the word, Malcolm?
Par excellence.
Thank you. I don't know French too well. All right.
Are you there, Melba?
She's getting hysterical.
Yeah.
Well, we are very proud to have her on the show today.
Do you have a swell head yet?
No. You guys are funny, but it's a wonderful welcome. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'll tell you this, Malcolm. I love your song. What inspired that?
Oh, what inspired it? Oh, I think it's a hit record, first of all. I think it's beautiful sound. It's simple, and it's very positive, and, you know, about harmony. Just everybody get together and have a picnic, a barbecue.
All right, do you want to tell us who wrote it? Give him some or her some credit?
Absolutely. Dominic McFadden, who is the son of Gene McFadden of McFadden and Whitehead. Wonderful songwriter and producer.
So yeah, I love the lyrics. I mean, it really, you know, today, especially with today's market, the words have meaning.
Yes, you know, don't like to preach at people, but you want to do something that kind of makes the atmosphere charged with a little bit more positive. We have so much violence, and this is an incredible nation. It's the best nation on the face of this planet. And you just want to promote harmony and get out and have some good music and some good times, you know, along with all the other good stuff that's happening out here.
Now, listen, Melba, we have a bunch of questions for you. If we get through them real quick, then I guess at the end we'll have to do some three-part harmony or whatever.
Yeah, three-part, sure, okay. You're in trouble, Melba.
I'm in trouble?
Yeah. You have to sing with me.
Hey, if you're on with us, you're in trouble. Big
we're
time.
We're not required to be on key, or we'll just be in harmony, that's all.
All right. Listen, of the questions that we are going to ask you, one of them is really basic. You know, we know that you came or come from a musical family, which is always good, but did that help you or hinder you in getting started? Because I know some people who become actors or actresses, it helps because they could get a foot in the door, and in some regards it hurts because, you know, they have to live up to a higher standard. How was it in your case?
Well, in my case, I think it was a help because I started out with a broken family, a single mom who was gone all the time because she was a singer. So there was, you know, not the wholeness of siblings and a mother and a father there to give you that good start. But she married a musician who was also an incredible father, and he had a son and a daughter. So I then had a family. And because my mother and father worked together musically, music became the centerpiece of our lives. And so we all studied piano, but we got this incredible passion for music that I think really caught me on fire. But on the other hand, they were very, very skeptical about any of us having it as a primary career because it was so unstable. So they really discouraged us. And a lot of things that I maybe should have learned about the business aspect of it, well, we just didn't know that because it was a house full of artists. So that would be the downside. And I've had a lot of bumps and bruises because I didn't know the other parts of the industry.
Well, I am really sorry now that I never took my mother's advice and kept up with those piano lessons.
Well, it's good for you, even if you don't, wind up being a musician. I think music just helps you to feel and relate to the rest of humanity.
Malcolm, hold on.
Yes,
hold on,
sir.
Malcolm. Melba, this is very important. Before we get into the other questions, where are you from? Where did you grow up?
Well, two places, Manhattan, New York City.
What part of Manhattan?
New Jersey. 108th Street in Central Park West.
Okay, yeah, because I went to CCNY and I lived on 90th and Central Park West, so I know your area well.
We're kind of the same neighborhood almost.
And I'm from Brooklyn.
Well, my manager's from Brooklyn.
Well, that's why he sounds like such a nice guy on the phone.
Well, he is, yeah.
All right, let's get to the next question. Did you have any vocal or musical training specific, like Juilliard?
Okay, wait a minute. Hold it.
Well, we got another break.
We have a fast break. Yeah, that was only a 6-minute segment.
Oh, okay.
So
Melba, you're going to be with us the rest of the hours. You'll put up with these breaks like we do.
So hang on. You're listening to...
Don't pay your bills. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're listening to CRNTalk.com. The View from Over Here.
You forgot the name of the
I forgot the name of the show.
Malcolm, you're fired.
We'll be back in a few minutes. Stay tuned.
If I get divorced, can I get part of my ex-wife's Social Security check?
Stan Hinden gets that question a lot at the Social Security mailbox.
If you've not been married 10 years, you're not going to be eligible for benefits on your spouse's work record.
I'm Aileen Ellis. This is Primetime Focus.
You must be at least 62 years old and unmarried and not entitled to a higher Social Security benefit on your own work record.
And if your ex-spouse gets hitched again?
If an ex-spouse, let's say a man, remarries and his wife is eligible for Social Security benefits, she can get those benefits on his record, and so he would have benefits going both to his current spouse and also to his ex-spouse.
Check out this topic and many others and send in your questions to the Social Security mailbox on aarp.org. That's Primetime Focus, brought to you by AARP. Hear all our programs on the web at aarp.org/radio.
Are you married? Do you and your husband both have term life insurance? If you both don't, you should. You have a lot to protect. Call now, get a free quote for your husband, and while you're at it, get a quote for yourself too, because you both need term life insurance. Call now, 800-915-9542, 800-915-9542, 800-915-9542. Rates are at all-time lows. We'll shop over 30 top-rated companies to get you the best possible rates. Term life insurance, it's the perfect way to protect the quality of your family's lifestyle. You and your husband both need term life insurance, so call now for a free quote for the both of you. 800-915-9542, 800-915-9542, 800-915-9542.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names.
Really? Yeah.
They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call or go online to get the free help you need during this turbulent time. Call now, 800-471-5173, 800-471-5173.
Wow, GEICO's been saving people money for over 75 years.
75 years? Are you joking?
No, they've been around so long that the Dead Sea was still alive. GEICO's been around so long that rainbows were still black and white. They've been around so long that kids rode the school horse to school.
I thought you said you weren't joking.
Well, I wasn't joking about the 75 years.
Geico, saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years.
The Trees, an epic novel by Stan Weisleder, told in the Godfather fashion, with two-thirds of the book taking place in Las Vegas and describing the transition from the mob to Howard Hughes to corporate America. This book is Las Vegas. Jim Santangelo from the International Brotherhood of Teamsters said, "I didn't grow up in New York or Las Vegas. I grew up in Jersey City, but I know everyone in this book. I loved it." Hal Rothbart, publisher, says, "I wish I had written it." The Trees by Stan Weisleder.
Go for it.
What do you want me to go for, Malcolm?
The jugular vein.
All right, this is Stan Weisleder on The View from Over Here in the studio with Malcolm Barry Burman and our special guest today, Melba Moore. Okay, Melba, did you think about the last question that I hit you with before we had our break?
Well, I think you asked me, did I take voice lessons? Was that correct?
Any kind of vocal or musical training, did you have it? Is it necessary? And do you still, if you did, do you train now or do anything to keep your voice in shape?
Yes, to all of the above. When we were children, from 9 up through college, we all took piano lessons. So I started taking piano at 9. And then, of course, when I became part of my stepfather and his family, and we all sang together, that's when I really kind of discovered that I could sing, maybe around 9 or 10 years old. And then I went to art and music high school in Newark, New Jersey, where we then lived. So I majored in vocal music in high school, and then I majored in music education in college. So, yes, I've had a lot of training, and I still do train, yes.
So you learned the classics, am I correct?
Yes, and my natural voice was the lyric soprano, so I did the German lieder songs and the Italian arias and Undel D and all the good stuff, and of course a lot of Gershwin and all them people.
You know what I've noticed, Malcolm? You know what I've noticed over the years? Whenever you have a very good musician or very good singer, somehow they did study the classics in their early years. The best.
Well, I don't know. We have so many different kinds of music in America, and some people, for instance, I don't think Aretha Franklin studied music. I don't think she had to.
Well, a lot of those singers, which I was going to ask you, really got their training at church.
But that is training too, yes. Well, that's a certain other type of traditional classic. But I mean, what you mean? I really studied classical music.
Right. Yeah, I read your background.
Yeah. What we're saying is, I think what we're saying, Malcolm, is we can't see her doing rap.
Well, I could see her doing anything that she wanted to.
That's true. Okay.
But when did you decide you want to go into show business?
I think probably as a kid, because I saw the joy and the passion that my parents had for it. They were very discouraging about it, but they did it until my mother passed away. My dad's still working, and he's 98.
Wow.
Wow, that is incredible.
Well, did you get your first big, which as I understood in reading the bio, your first big break with Hair?
Right, yes. But I didn't start there. I actually got Hair from doing some studio backup singing work, and we were the backup singers. I'm talking about Valerie Simpson, Nick Asher, and a bunch of really, really, really talented people.
Yeah, that's
well, good for group. Out in
Melba,
the industry.
The first time you were on by yourself, were you scared, even a little?
Oh, absolutely. And I still get scared. I can't get rid of that for some reason.
Well, that's supposed. I don't know if it's scared or the anticipation. It's supposed to build somebody up to perform at their peak. So that may not be bad.
I think it's a good thing, because what happens is I'm one of those people. If I'm so scared about it, I could panic and I lose my voice. So what it makes me do is really prepare well, and then I see some of it goes away, but not all of it.
But I know at the beginning of one of the things you did at the beginning of the career was to do the TV series. I think.
Right, the Melba Moore Clifton Davis show.
Yeah, that lasted a year. Did you find out that it was basically the prejudice because of the? I remember. I don't know what year it was, but I remember Nat King Cole had a show that they cut the coaxial cable down south because they didn't want a black.
Well, Nat King, quite a bit before me, but our issues were not so much racism. When I describe it racism, I mean there are cultural differences, and there still are. And I think because we as Americans expect equality in everything. We don't understand that it's not unequal because you're not Italian or you're not African American. Like, for instance, I think it was amazing that I was cast in Les Miserables when it's about the French Revolution. It's not about African people.
Right. Well, what part did you play?
Fantine.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
but
a
wait
great
a minute.
part.
In France, there's been a history of non-racial.
Yeah, but this was America, Broadway. A lot of history of racism.
Okay. Well, Melba, listen, when you were starting out, civil rights then, today people have no clue what it was like back then. What was it like for you? Was it like what Sammy Davis Jr. had to go through when...
No, because once again, he came before me, and I only say that because they really broke down barriers. Him and the Rat Pack, and then they broke barriers so that the way was made a lot better for us. In the late 60s, of course, we were still fighting for civil rights, and it was still around the time just after when I was doing hair that Martin Luther King had been killed and that Kennedy had been killed. So to have been cast in hair was just a great opportunity because their whole point was to bring racism, prejudice of all kinds out of the closet. That's why it was such a revolutionary success. So in some ways, because of the difficulties we had and because it was breaking out and we were making music and art out of making a statement, I had an opportunity in the Broadway theater.
Yeah, speaking of hair, are you do you remember the composer of Hair?
Galt McDermott?
Yeah, when you...
That's how I got the gig. Are you joking?
Yeah, okay, because he was not a hippie.
No.
He was like a Madison Avenue type guy.
No, not Madison Avenue, honey. Nerd.
Nerd.
Okay, I was trying to be nice.
I remember...
He wasn't slick. He's very, very, very simple. You know, very, very shy and quiet and simple.
I remember
but talented.
That, yeah. I remember.
Like you.
Yeah. I remember there was a big controversy with Hair. I think it's the end of the first act, where everybody gets under a big tarp.
Right.
And then they lift it up and they're all naked.
Right.
And when I went to see the show and I read about it,
You're thinking of Oak Calcutta.
No, the big controversy about it, and the thing lasted about half a second.
Right.
It was flash. You couldn't see anything.
But that would show you what the times were like, though, how bizarre and exciting and, crazy that was considered to be.
Right.
And I think people were really, really excited, too, because they expected to see something bizarre or at least sexy, something.
Melba, let me put you on the spot.
Okay.
There are always questions that put you on the spot. Who are some of your favorite artists, and also do you have any favorite composers or lyricists? I know it's putting you on the spot, but if you don't want to answer that question, it's okay.
What do you mean, back in those days?
Then, now, whenever.
Well, I guess, like the people that everybody was listening to. I mean, I remember being, like, really over the top to look down in the audience and see Janis Joplin sitting there.
Wow, yeah.
Okay.
And I remember Diana Ross was in the audience one time. And I remember when I was doing Pearlie, who came backstage to see me was Barbara Streisand. She says, "How did you do that accent?"
Yeah,
a Brooklyn accent.
Right. She was. They used to call her the white Melba Moore.
Good. That's very good, Malcolm.
Now, Melba, getting a little serious. I know there have been some very down times in your life. We won't go into that. But how did you survive? What did you think in your soul? That kept you afloat.
Well, I can't say I was afloat because it was pretty down rock bottom. As my girlfriend would say, it was lower than dirt. But I'm a born-again Christian, and I think I really kind of hid in my Christianity, meditating, praying, staying in the church, and just staying there day to day to day to day to keep going. I wasn't afloat yet. I had to kind of get up out of the pit first, and then realize that, okay, I was in a whole different world than I was before I got dropped. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long, 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 long journey. Now I guess what I've learned to do is stay with the Lord and stay humble and keep your feet on the ground because you never know what's going to happen. There's a smooth ride is not guaranteed to anybody. So
basically, you just, as I say, you kept the faith.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and no hubris.
No.
And now what are you exactly doing now? We heard your new single.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm finishing up the album, and the CD is going to be out officially on September 23rd, next Tuesday, and it'll be on iTunes and all the social media outlets, Amazon.com and all that. And I'm finishing the CD, which is entitled Forevermore, and I'm also touring on my one-woman autobiographical play. You can hear all the gory details of my downs and my ups with music.
All right, that sounds good.
Where are you touring? Do you have a list of places at cities or towns that you're going to be in?
Well, with the play, I'm starting in Macon, Georgia, but I'm coming up here to New York City to the Metropolitan Room to celebrate my birthday on October 27th, I believe that's going to be. And I'll be in Atlantic City, a bunch of places all over the place. But if you want to know where I'm going, your listeners or your viewers,
yeah, we
can
want
go
our people to know, and we want to know when we can see you in L.A.
Oh, yeah, okay. You have to go to my website because I don't remember all of the stuff that I'm doing.
What is it? Because we want all of our listeners to go there also.
Thank you. Okay, well, just melbamore.com.
That's simple.
Easy. Okay, it's a no-brainer. Melba,
I try
question
to keep
for
it simple.
you. This is a basic question. Do you have any preference for either doing recordings, performing in small clubs, doing concerts, or being in movies/TV?
No, I try not to make a preference because they're all so different. And when you prepare for them, I think you can just kind of get tunnel visioned and do that. Like, for instance, when I was doing long runs of Broadway, and of course, they were my first opportunity to do it, so I was learning on the job. And then I went from that to television. I was too big, and, you know, my eyes were looking like I was Butterfly McQueen or somebody. You know, they said, Miss Moore, bring it down, honey. And so they're very, very, very different. And I don't want to have to choose between any of them, because if I had a choice and then I would just do that, then I wouldn't be doing the others. But I think music is my centerpiece, and my history has been that all the other great things kind of came out of music. So if I had a choice, I could say it would be music.
All right, then. Do you have any suggestions for anyone starting out in your business?
Well, get some training wherever it is. If it's a church, if it's classical music, if it's, you know, private instrumental lessons, and then try to get some experience. Even if you're very young, just get up and do it. If it's in your family, if it's volunteer at hospitals. If they turn on the lights, start singing and do something to get some experience.
Okay. In other words,
Enjoy
do things even for free just to get the experience.
Absolutely.
So you're willing to do things for free? I have a few gigs for you.
Hey, listen, I got too many free gigs already. Yes,
I think she's past that, Malcolm.
Now, after these years in show business, have you found out is there still the race barrier today as there was years ago? Maybe.
Oh, absolutely. But I really I don't feel like it's so much of a problem. Of course, now I'm older and I've been dealing with it a longer time, and things have changed drastically. But I think one thing people forget is that our lives start in families, in cultures, in neighborhoods, in cells or circles. And when we try to erase that and just make it a melting pot, things don't work. And, you know, I don't like things the same way my neighbor does. And if you can give it to me the way I like it, I probably will invite you into my house. But if you can't, you know, you might think it's racial prejudice, and it might be a cultural barrier.
Well, the thing I find which is very funny is, you know, I grew up to during the age of rock and roll in the 60s and 70s, and I never realized that there was black music, because all the rock and roll people, it didn't make a difference what color they were. You know, whether it be Little Richard or...
From that perspective, I do, acknowledge the racism, because what happened is because we were African Americans, we weren't really given the credit for the work, for the music that we did for a while. I mean, going way back, it was not even illegal for us not to get paid for it. We had to really fight for that and fight for getting the acknowledgement of the things that we created. But in the other sense, you can't keep it once it's out there. It belongs to everybody.
Now, when you talk about music, black music versus white music, old versus new, my youngest daughter, Jill, who is a photographer for the L.A. Dodgers, when you listen to Frank Sinatra music, as an example, to her, that is classical music.
Well, you know, to me that's understandable because Frank Sinatra is Italian. His culture is the basis for what we call classical music, the Italian music.
Yeah. And you know what she likes best? She likes the Grateful Dead. Now, when I hear the Grateful Dead, I say to myself, this sounds just like noise.
Well, you have to remember in those days, you know, when you listen to some of the music, I used to go to a place called the Electric Circus in Greenwich Village, and you had to be a little bit high to survive there because the music was so loud. And then they had the films. They had against the wall. They had different pictures popping on and off. If you weren't a little high, you couldn't take it. I don't know if you remember those days.
It was
psychedelic. Those days, I would have been down somewhere listening to Horace Silver. I wouldn't have been listening to the Grateful Dead.
You've been in the jazz clubs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were the.
But I mean, to me, that's America. I mean, there's been racial prejudice, and it still exists. And I'm not saying that it doesn't. But we also had these cultural differences, and in some cases they kind of bleed over, and in some cases, well, there's still the differences, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, well, I think that the problem is people try, as you say, try to blend in, and there's certain cultural differences, and instead of negating them and not recognize them and celebrate them. And
that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't mean that you have to enjoy it, but that's why we have diversity.
Right, and not give a value to them. What we say
give a value.
Yeah, and that's why we have klezmer music.
Actually, I like all music. I like world music. I like music even though I don't understand the words. We'll talk about that after the end of the break. Hold on for another few
don't go
minutes.
away, Melba. We're not done with you yet.
We got to pay the bills. You're listening to The View from Over Here, heard on crntalk.com, also on www.viewfromoverhere.com, where you can get all our back shows and hear the pearls of wisdom of Stan. I'm not going to say me because that would be boasting. And we'll be back in a few minutes. Stay tuned.
Located in the heart of Maui's premier resort, Kaanapali Beach Hotel is officially recognized as Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel and the #1 best value in Hawaii. With a range of accommodations and affordable dining options, this is the ideal setting to turn Hawaiian dreams into lifelong memories. Live Hawaiian entertainment every evening, free year-round children's programs, weekly arts and crafts fairs, welcome breakfast, and departure kukui lei ceremonies add to the value. Swim in the whale-shaped pool. Indulge in the fabulous spa and hotel salon. Enjoy Hawaiian hospitality at its best at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Call 800-262-8450 or go to kbhmaui.com. That's kbhmaui.com. Aloha.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Hi everyone, this is Robert Conrad reminding you to join me each week on CRN for the PM show with Robert Conrad. We'll read your emails, take your calls, and chat with some of the hottest stars in Hollywood. Tune in Thursdays to the PM show with me, Robert Conrad, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Tune in to the PM show with Robert Conrad, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Welcome back to Secrets to Saving. Jen, you're saving $300 a month. What's your secret?
I called the National Mortgage Connection. They connected me with a great lender who refinanced my home loan into a much lower rate. They didn't charge me any closing costs, no escrow fees, no origination fee, and no credit report fee.
Let's go to Chuck now.
I called National Mortgage Connection too. I also refinanced into a lower rate, and now I'm saving around $3,000 a year. And they refinanced me even though I was underwater on my mortgage.
It's no secret that a lower interest rate means a lower payment, which means you save money. With record low rates, you've got to call NMC now. They're a referral service that connects homeowners with a pre-screened lender offering no closing cost loans. And you can refi even if you're underwater.
888-794-1630. 888-794-1630. 888-794-1630. That's 888-794-1630.
Hi, this is Greg Hunter, the host who loves you the most on CRN Digital Talk. My show Nightside has famous guests, reviews of current attractions, films, plays, dining rooms, all the good things in life. That's at 9 on Sunday evenings. Once again, 9 o'clock Pacific Coast time, Sunday.
Okay, we're in for the wrap.
Okay, here we go. Melba, we don't have another hour, which I would really like, so let's throw a few more questions at you.
All right.
All right, now, do you have any shows or concerts coming up, or you just want everybody to look up your website?
I have lots of shows and the concerts coming up. As I was telling you, I'm starting to tour my one-woman autobiographical play called Still Standing, the Melba Moore story with music. I'm going to be at the Metropolitan Cabaret at October 27th.
Okay, that's in Manhattan.
In Manhattan, yes. I'm going to be on tour with Peebo Bryson. Got a bunch of things coming, but I don't remember them all offhand. I don't have a list here, so
MelbaMoore.com, right?
If I am Melba, if I am in Manhattan that time, can you think you might get me 2 seats?
Absolutely.
All right.
Now getting a little more personal. I know you've had a rocky road. Are you involved now or not involved?
You mean romantically?
Romantically.
No, I think I'm going to leave that a little distance.
Yeah, well, do you fool around?
I'm not going to.
Hey,
No.
would you go out with an older white guy?
Yeah.
No, I took a look at your picture, and you still look as good now as you did back then. A little wrinkled, but you still look good.
Now,
a little wrinkle.
Yeah, listen, there's a little difference between, 40 years ago.
But there's not wrinkles.
That picture that we used, okay, the picture that Ron sent us, is that you now, today?
Everything we send you is current.
Wow. Then, whoa. That is, wow. Okay.
No, I don't hardly be telling these people I'm wrinkled. I am not wrinkled.
No, I didn't mean wrinkled.
Right.
Just, well, again, you look good, but you're not 17 years old.
Malcolm,
no, I look very good.
Okay.
But I'm also not wrinkled.
Okay, never mind.
All right, Malcolm.
I used the wrong word. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Have you done a biography? A book about yourself? I know you have the play, the one-woman play, but have you written a book, a biography? Well, even with a ghostwriter.
I've written a book, and I'm shopping it now for a publisher, yes.
Okay.
Can we do the movie rights? I mean,
absolutely. First refusal.
Yeah, I mean, you're with the ups and downs in your life, it would make a great movie. It's also, a history of our time.
Right.
Because I think everything you've been through is very much, what this country has been through, and you lived through it.
Absolutely. You do it as an individual, but also part of your culture and part of your country.
And the beautiful thing is you have such a upbeat attitude. Positive.
I still feel very blessed, and I have a good positive attitude, because some of the bruises can really it can ruin your mood,
and we're blessed to have you. To tell you,
can't let it get you, and you have to keep laughing.
Right, you do.
Okay, Melba, thank you very much. I look forward to meeting you. Either we'll be there or you coming here.
Well, hopefully both. I'm going to be out to the coast. I'm not sure when, but when you come to New York, if it's during the time when we're doing the Metropolitan, be sure to stop by.
Well, wait, we could meet in the middle, like in Iowa.
Right. In the
I just come
cornfield.
back from Minneapolis.
Anyway, thanks again, Melba. We're at the end of the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks a lot.
You're listening to The View from Over Here, heard on crntalk.com, and you can get old shows on www.viewfromoverhere.com, and I think we're out.
The View from Over Here is a co-production of Infinity X and TBG International. For further information, contact Malcolm Burman at 818-687-2784. That's 818-687-2784.
Enjoying all your favorite CRN programming is easier than ever. It's right on your TV, through your local cable provider, and on the web at crntalk.com. But when you're on the